Sound.
What?
Don't hear the.
A weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evans.
No, I'm not editing. I'm not editing, Rich.
Welcome to the New Author Podcast. A weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Casey. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
I watch a golf guy who whenever he hits a bad shot, he just goes, "This is real golf, guys. This is real golf." So this is real podcasting, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the New Author Podcast. Today is Thursday, May 28th, 2026. This is episode number 356. I'm one of the hosts of this podcast, Jerry Evanoff, and with me, as he is each week, is Rich Casey, with a weird name there on his screen for something different, I guess. I don't know. How are you, Rich?
I was doing really well until about 5:30 my local time. I was getting off at 6, but at 5:30 there was a big rush of people, so had to rush around trying to get them situated until I had my replacements come in, which was a little bit after 6. They were a little bit tardy, and then I come home and I try to set up my microphone and stuff, and my microphone is limp. It's like it needs a shot of Viagra or something.
Okay.
I tip it up, and it keeps on slowly moving its way down. So right now I've got it kind of held up by a little box of stuff, and I'm going to have to get a screwdriver or something to get it fixed afterwards. But other than that, things have been going okay. It's been an okay week. A couple times I thought I was losing my mind, but you'll see why a little bit later. Concerning what I actually did this week.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. It's been an interesting week for me too. It started out kind of on a high, and it's kind of ending on a weird, like, in between, strange place right now that I'm in. So that I'll talk about. All writing related. I don't have a lot of writing news, but I have writing stuff to talk about. So
okay, good.
Jumping into stats, I'm back to not having any stats in terms of writing, although that will, and I'll talk about this in a little while, but that will significantly change. I can give a wrap up of my promo though. It ended this past, I guess, early Monday morning. In terms of Amazon total sales, it got to kind of where I wanted it to be, I guess. I don't know. So for the month, I'm at a total of, where's this at? This month. Here we go. I'm at a total of 98 orders. That was 92 books at 99 cents, book one. It was 6 book twos, which is, it's funny, 92 books at 99 cents got me $60. 6 books got me $18.39 at $3.99. It's like a third. I made it a third of the money with 1/12 or 1/13 of the actual sales, because one was 99 cents and one wasn't.
Now this isn't actually a month worth of stats. It's like a week and a half, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I put this month on there, so it's giving me all of May. Right. My promo basically ran, for a week and a couple days. At the beginning of last week, and then ending this past Monday morning. I have 1,037 page reads, which I also find pretty interesting. And that's between book one and book two. I have 630 on book one and 407 on book two, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to move on to book two, which a small fraction did immediately. And I'm hoping that a larger amount do over time. In terms of my pre-orders on book 3, this is a very important number. That number is 4. It's 4 more than I expected. It's actually really exciting for me. Okay, it's 4, but it's really exciting. But it also, I'll talk about a little later why it's very, very scary.
Okay.
I didn't expect it to be. So those are the sales based on the promo. I really wanted hundreds of sales, but I really didn't know what to expect. I think I just had kind of wishful thinking, big eyes about, I can get a lot of sales, and it didn't happen. But I still got about 100 of them, which is cool. I'm pretty happy about that. I can tell you, based on, where's my here's Amazon attribution links. I can tell you that some of those sales did come from Facebook. I'm actually pretty pleased with Facebook overall. 15 sales came through the Facebook ad, which is really cool. I did not expect that. I did get a sale through my email list that I put out there also for book for book one also. So that was kind of cool. So actually the sales came in from different places. I also got page reads through. I got page reads through the email link and through the Facebook ad. I'm kind of trying to kick around ideas maybe in a month or so what I can do to try to, I really want to keep sales of book one going, even if it's at 99 cents every time, just to keep putting numbers out there try to build a list up. I want to find something that I can do to try to build up a list. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, because I'm not going to finish my prequel novella until after book 3 is out there. And that's when I'll just start pushing that thing like crazy on all the book funnel promos. But right now, I'd like to find something to do to build up a list. And I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if I'm being impatient or not, but I would like to do that also.
Yeah, at this point, it would have been nice in order to have the prequel ready to go. But yeah, I mean, you got another, 7 books coming out or whatever. So
something like that. Something like that. Yes, the answer is yes to that. That's not that was a weird laugh. The answer is definitely yes to that. It's just it's what's going on right now is very strange. It's a strange feeling, a strange place that I'm in right at the very moment. Not mentally, just writing wise, and I'll talk about it in a little while. I will say that my Facebook ads ended up getting me 286 clicks, 33 cents per click. I spent $93, and it ended up netting me 15 or 16 sales on book 1, and I'm hoping that can move on into book 2 a little bit. So what was the other thing I had on there? Mailer Lite. So I talked about Mailer Lite last week. I did both of those last week, where it got me the 1 sale, but again, not many people opened it. I'm probably going to do one more email to that entire list when my next Perry Mason comes out in a couple of weeks on Substack. But after that, I'm going to prune it down pretty hard if all the people didn't open like the first, I guess, 4 or 5 emails that I sent out. Actually, it would be like 6 or 7 because I sent 2 out. If they didn't open it on Tuesday, they got it sent to them again on Thursday. And if they didn't open it on Thursday, that counts as 2. Yeah. So there's probably at least 8 emails out there, maybe 9 emails out there. And if people didn't open it, they're 0 for 9. I'm getting them off the list. I'm not paying for them. There's no reason to.
But, in fairness, this list is pretty cold, right?
This list was built. I have about 1,300 or 1,400 total emails. About 1,000 of them are from the science fiction stuff, and it's just friends and family. Like you're on there, and some of my friends and family are on there. What I did was I had a prequel novella for book 1 that I've since rewritten and made the novella you get at the back of book 1 instead. And I'm rewriting the prequel novella, the book 0.5. It's already written. It's the first draft. I just have to edit it, which I'll do probably late in this year. And that'll be the one that goes out. But this first one that I had that's now become book 1.5, I used that in a couple of book funnel promos and gathered up a list of about 312 people. I think it was 312 is what it originally was when I first started a couple of months ago. And now there have been some unsubscribes, which again, I am like, if you'd asked me 5 or 6 years ago, I probably wouldn't have liked it, but I'm completely okay with people who don't want to be on the list, not be on the list, because you got to pay for them. So, I'm currently at 285. So I've had 17 unsubscribes in the last 30 days, which is fine. I wonder if there's an overall, it'd be nice if there was here we go. 1,055 emails sent in the last 30 days, 204 opens. So that's about 20%. 27 clicks, that's about, 11 or 12, 13% of the people who opened actually clicked, which I think that seems fine. So it's just a matter of going through this and figuring out who's not going to be on there after the next one.
Right.
And I'll give you one more number, something very strange. I was trying to go to the subscribers to see, so there's really no way to tell. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here that are 0 for 4. There's some 2 for 2, 2 for 4. A lot of 0 for 4 though. So I thought it'd be bigger than 4, but apparently I've only sent 4. Maybe a campaign when you do a resend, maybe that counts as 1 email and not 2. I'm not sure about that, but
I don't really know either.
Because the highest number I see is 4, which is strange.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you one more number. Let me scroll to it here, just because I love me some numbers.
No, I am not in this email stream, right?
Correct. That is correct.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten anything. So
yeah. Okay, good. Because if you were in there and hadn't gotten that could be a problem. I'm currently at 9 subscribers on Substack. I got 1 last week and 1 this week, and then I think I lost 1 this week also. I have posted a few times as a note, but when I go through and look at it almost like a Twitter feed, it's mostly just authors saying, hey, other authors, reach out to me. That's like, I see that a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot of that when you go through that note feed.
Yeah.
So you really, that note feed is a recent addition to Substack. It used to be just all posts. And yeah, so it's kind of, that front end is kind of garbaged up a little bit. But what I do is I just kind of scroll through there and just find the people I know I've subscribed to and look at what they're posting. Because oftentimes it'll be callbacks to a bigger post that they have made.
Right.
And they're just trying to point people to it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think that's going to be it for my numbers. My goal for last week was just, I didn't really know what to do. It was just make progress. I think I did. This is actually going a little slower than I'd hoped. And the reason that I have fear about those pre-orders for book 3 is because it looks like it's going to be a complete rewrite. Like I may keep nothing from the first draft. We'll see. I'm going to keep the characters. I'm going to keep the murder, the victim. I know backstory. I'm going to keep all that, but I think we're going to change the location. I think I told you last week one of Cee's things was, I'm in an office building this time, and book 1 was in a manufacturing plant with a lot of offices and stuff, and she thinks that's very similar. So I had an idea. I sent it to her a couple days ago, and I haven't heard back yet. We're gonna spruce it up a little bit. We're gonna keep it in kind of an office type thing, but we're gonna futurize it, maybe make it one of these data centers that you see popping up all over the place, and make it heavily AI, make them trapped in there, that whole deal. So but again, it's a complete rewrite. Makes me nervous right now. Yeah. But I know I can do it. I'm not too concerned about that I can't do it, but it's going to be probably more work than I expected it to be. Sure. Instead of going to a restaurant for 2 hours, I'm going to have to go for 3, things like that. So, so it's going to be a fun summer, Rich.
When is the pre-order due?
November 24th.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you still have a lot of runway.
I think I got 6 months. Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. That's those are my stats so far for the week.
Well, I don't have any marketing stats, obviously, because I'm not marketing anything. I don't have any writing stats because I didn't write anything. Since you mentioned Substack, last I looked yesterday, I had 18 subscribers.
Nice.
So it's slowly inching up over time. And I've been trying every day to get on there and, comment on people's stuff, give them a like and all that kind of stuff. When you do that, people will often, subscribe back or whatever. And I'm trying to hit just real... honest to goodness writers that are on there, and just kind of letting all that other
question,
stuff
right? That's my question. Like, and I saw somebody post this on Substack. I was scrolling through it, I think yesterday, and somebody had said, "Boy, I thought I was going to come here and it was going to be like a bunch of fans of my writing, but it's just other authors. How do I use this to build up like fans?" And I'm kind of trying to do the same thing, where I'm trying to get people who like that old school murder mystery, using Perry Mason, and I think I'm probably going to do some other stuff at some point in the future. And I don't really necessarily want to attract writers unless they're going to buy my book. I really want to attract fans of the stuff that I'm writing about more than anything.
Well, that's tough. I have 2 observations about that. Number one is that, writers are big readers in general.
Sure.
And even more important, number 2, the kinds of writers who are on Substack are not necessarily long form writers. They're short form. I mean, they're long form in the sense that they're not writing tweets or anything, but they're writing posts and things that are like 1,000, 2,000 words long or something like that. So they're not writing books. So a lot of those kinds of writers will potentially become a fan of your books. I don't know this to be so for sure, but that's kind of my working hypothesis. Is that a lot of them are writers at best, are short story writers, and if you can entice them with the kind of stuff you're writing and get them to follow your posts on the books that you are doing, that there may be something that'll come out on the other end, even if it's only to get them to sign up as a paying customer on Substack. So like one, for example, the lowest tier that anybody can pay on Substack is $5 a month. So, if you capture just one, that's like selling a book every single month.
Right.
And I've been on there for a month or so now, 2 months at the most, and I'm already signed up to like 3 or 4 people because paying. Yeah. Okay. Because I read their stuff over enough period of time that I thought, I want to support this person in what they're doing. So
yeah.
I mean, everything's a crapshoot now with marketing. You don't really know what's going to happen. Just have to see how it works out in the end. The other thing I want to mention is that, and I'll talk more about it later when we talk about the week, is that I have gone deep in the weeds on writing these AI agents. Okay. So deep in the weeds that I can't see the sky anymore. So I feel like I'm in one of those ant cartoon movies where it looks like the blades of grass are our huge force overhead.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That one.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I mean, I've been having fun. Today was the first time I actually got one of these AI agents up and running to see if it would actually work. It took me about an hour or so to get it to work because, as it turns out, the files I was giving it in terms of trying to build its information back knowledge base had little strange characters in there, because when I saved it out from Microsoft Word into the text file, there were some characters that I didn't understand. So it puts that little black diamond with a question mark in it. And I had to go comb through all my text files to get rid of all of those. But yeah, interesting times. Definitely interesting times.
All right. Well, speaking of the weekly recap here, I'll go into mine from last week. I had a weird week just in the things that I did and the things that I didn't do. So last Friday, I worked half a day, and so I was out at 11, and then I was off to the local sub place to get some lunch and work on my my email back to my editor, which has my plot. You know, the big. That's where I was. I was redoing characters and motivations and backstories and stuff based on what she had asked me to do. She said, you know, before we really get into this, I need to know more about your characters. Well, so did I, because I didn't give her much when I gave her a summary, and that was one of her complaints was your characters are, you know, I know about the red herring, and I know about the victim, and I know about the murder. I need to know about the rest of them, because you got to have these people as like viable suspects. And this is the same thing she told me back in book 2. So I feel like this is really a weakness of mine, and I'm going to really concentrate on that when I get to book 4 and I'm putting together the summary for her. I'm going to really make sure that I you know, build these characters out. I don't know how people, I always think whenever I get advice from anybody on terms of writing, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. They say, do this, or you should do this. And it's always something that feels like it's more work for me. And I always wonder, and I don't know why Lindsay Buroker is always the first person I think of, but I always just wonder, does Lindsay Buroker do this? And in my head, I'm like, probably not. She just sits down and writes. That may not be how it really is, but like some of the stuff that I hear, some of the stuff, you know, writing advice and using all the software and doing this and doing that, I always think, you know, writers who are successful don't necessarily do this. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I was reading something the other day, and right now I can't bring it to mind, but it was a writer who was talking, a successful writer, who was talking about how in order to get that first hit, they basically wrote for like 20 years and just, you know, hone their craft over that time. You know, they call it honing their craft, but, you know, they were just spitting in the dark on what they were doing. And, you know, trying to figure it out, trying to get their voice and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you know, when we have like, you know, half a dozen years behind us or whatever it is we've got, the chances that you're going to mess up are better than even. You know,
yeah,
and then you'll have to go back and do some triage on what you've already written.
Yeah. So I'd made myself a tea time that morning because I knew I wouldn't be playing Saturday. It was going to be rainy again for about the 19th straight Saturday. Cold and rainy. So I made myself a tea time for Friday, actually. So I knew I wouldn't be at the sub place very long. So I made myself a 1:04 tea time at a place that's about 5 minutes from me. Nice course. Grew up playing it. It's been around forever. And I played it as a kid when I was 18 years old and still playing it now. And I didn't get her email done. But I got closer. The goal was to get it done by Saturday. Showed up at the golf course at 12:40. And they just said, go ahead and go out, and played through a couple of slow groups. And I was actually done by 3:00 and home by 3:15. So it was about a 2 hour and 20 minute round, which was nice. Shot an 85, which was good. I started out pretty rough, but I shot an 85. So I was pretty happy about that. And then there was really nothing writing related the rest of the day. I will say that I was exchanging emails with the guy who has a YouTube channel. His name's Dave Gardiner. And he's from the Boston area, and he has a YouTube channel where he's been doing the cards and dice gaming like I do, but he's been doing it for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years now. And he's like the one that has all the subscribers. He's like I would say the godfather of everybody who does this, because he live streams. A lot of people come into his live stream. He actually hosted his own conference the last 2 years and had, 20, 30, 40 people show up for it in Connecticut. So he's like the big wig. I'd been exchanging emails with him about going on his podcast, and we ended up settling on Memorial Day since we were both off work, and that ended up happening. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. Saturday, I checked my book 1 ranking on this morning, so there's no more emails going out. All that's left was the Facebook ad, and at that point, I was 15,961 in the Kindle store, 116th in Private Investigator in the Kindle store and 191st in Amateur Sleuth in the Kindle store. And what's so funny about that is that was about 5 days ago. So I had Facebook ads running Saturday and Sunday. That was my only source of kind of marketing, was Saturday and Sunday, the Facebook ads. And I've already dropped to, let's see how this works. It's such a steep cliff, so it's a quick steep one. I'm down now to 137,000th in the Facebook and the Kindle store. I'm 2,471st in Amateur Sleuth. That was 191st on Saturday morning, and I've dropped I don't know, 2,200 spots since then. And that's what happens when you know. That's why you want to get into that top 100. If you can get a book bub that gets you into the top 100 and then you stick there, like that that's what you're looking for. And I just think it's like the unicorn. It's so hard, but that's what I'm shooting for. That's the goal.
I meant to ask you earlier, did you get any reviews yet? Or
I got one. Okay. I think I got, but no. So one thing I don't like that Amazon introduced a couple of years ago was the ability to just do a rating.
Yeah, right.
So somebody gave me a rating of I don't know what it was, but I'm a 3.8 right now, which is kind of low. But it's only 5. It's 5 ratings. There's 3 reviews. The 3 reviews are good, and the 2 ratings I think are a little bit. Those are the afraid of actually being negative people. Put your name on it. Tell me what you don't like, people. I got thick skin. I can handle it. Yeah. So anyway, so that's how far I dropped. I did hang around the house for a couple hours after I got up. Again, no golf. It rains every Saturday. And then I was off to the east side of Cleveland. I drove about an hour from my house to go to 2 of my favorite places that I don't go to since I don't work over there anymore. And the first stop was Micro Center. I love Micro Center. It's a big, giant computer store that you can walk around for about an hour. I can get lost in there. I end up buying a bunch of new stuff, a KVM switch, a keyboard and mouse, things I convinced myself that I needed. I think 2 of them are still in the box over there a week later. But and then I went to Moe's Southwest Grill to work on my plot and tea. I love Moe's. It's like this Mexican place. I had a quesadilla. It's like a better version of like Chipotle and Hothead. And they have a great burrito. It's so good. And as I was putting together this plot, and as I was putting together, adding into it the stuff that I had not done the first time, I really thought it was stronger than the first drafts of books 1 and 2 when I sent it to her for a review. I felt really good about that. And then I came home in the evening, not much of anything. I watched some golf, got my grocery order, and then I hooked up some of the stuff that I bought from Micro Center earlier in the day. Sunday, no golf again because it was cold and it was wet and I was by myself and I decided not to go. So I worked on my writing app now. This is where I'm off to. I'm working on getting the AI stuff built in there a little better so I can choose the models as they come and go that are available to use. And that was a tough one, but I got it working. I think I got it working later in the evening or maybe the next day, but I did get it working. I was very happy about that. Then I was
going through Open Router.
Yeah, going through Open Router. Yeah, and then I think I did this on Monday, but I did a lot of testing on. I sent the same prompt with the same context, the same book, probably about 10 to 12 different times. I wonder if I can find that 10 to 12 different times to see like what I want to do is I want to compare the quality of what's returned with the price of how much it costs to get that quality, and then try to find like where's that where you walk in the line and that sweet spot. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. So if I look at they changed their. I hate why do people change they change their website like once every couple of days? It's silly. Here it is. So I did. Why won't you? Jesus. So I did on May 25th. So that would have been Monday. I did GPT 5.5 Pro, Claude Sonnet 4.6, GPT 5.5, GPT 4.0, Gemini 2.5, Claude Opus 4.6, 4.7, Haiku 4.5, Sonnet 4.6. Then I did Opus 4.6 and Claude Haiku 4.5 again. The most expensive one was, how many words did I send? I sent, I think I sent the summary of book. I think I sent about, I don't know, 10,000 words. I forget what it was off the top of my head.
Let me guess. Let me guess.
What's that?
Let me guess.
So
Opus 4.6 was most
expensive.
The what?
Most expensive? No. And
really?
I'm actually really surprised about this. The most expensive one was GPT 5.5 Pro.
Okay.
It cost me $1.05 for this thing, whereas GPT 4.0 cost me 2.028 cents. Okay. Same prompt, same everything, and the return now ChatGPT 5.5 Pro returned 4,300 in output 4,300 tokens is what it costs when it returned, where GPT 4.0 or 4.0 not 0.0 4 little lowercase, so only 526 tokens on what it returned.
So is 5.5 a deep think model, or?
I don't know, Rich. I honestly don't know. Let's see.
That's one thing I learned today, that if you're using a deep think model, it returns with your answer a bunch of hidden information that chews up a lot of tokens in order for it to then process your next prompt, because it's designed purely for coding and mathematics. So the deep think models, if you have a deep think model and you can turn the deep think part off, then you can save yourself a bunch of tokens.
So it does say 5.5 Pro, OpenAI's high capability model optimized for deep reasoning and accuracy on complex, high stakes workloads.
Yeah.
And it says, I don't really understand it. It says input price $30 per 1 million tokens, I would assume.
Yeah.
$180 output per 1 million tokens. Whereas 5.5 just says designed for complex professional workloads, building on GPT 5.4, stronger reasoning, high reliability, and it's actually $30 per 1 million tokens output. So it's 6 times less.
Right.
Some of the other,
when I was working with Claude today, I was working with Opus 4.6, and I was getting a strange message back at the bottom of the replies, which was basically saying, essentially the message was, there's hidden content here that I can't parse and put up on the screen for you.
Interesting.
And so I asked Claude about that. What is this? And that's where it gave me the explanation of how these deep think models work, and how if you're doing anything other than mathematics or coding, you don't need the deep think models. So if you're any writing related tasks at all, you don't need the deep think models. It said just turn it off and it'll be that much cheaper. And I did, and I went from 20 cents per prompt to 0.002 cents per prompt.
Oh wow, that's a big difference. Yeah. The second most expensive one was a big drop. So that was $1.05. The second most expensive one would have been GPT 5.5. So Pro was the most at $1.05. 5.5 not Pro, just 5.5 by itself. It was essentially 0.085. So 9 cents if you round it up. Right. Next then is when we get into the Claude stuff. Opus 4.6. I did it twice. It was 0.725, 0.07. So 7 cents both times. And then next was, it got really low after that. I guess Claude Opus 4.7.6. Actually, Claude, so actually that was the second most expensive one. Opus 4.7, and then parentheses it says fast was actually 62 cents, 63 cents rounded. So GPT 5.5 Pro and Opus. So here, the whole thing is, I'm sitting here doing, this was Monday. I'll get back to Sunday, but this was Monday. I'm sitting here doing this. I think it was a Monday night. I'm sitting here doing this. And I'm thinking, what's the best way to compare quality? Well, I could take each output and put it somewhere and then read them side by side and try to determine. That seems like a lot of work, a lot of cut and pasting, a lot of typing over and over again. So I went, wait a minute, I have ChatGPT open and I'm writing code. So I actually put a button in my app that when you click it, it asks the same question to every model that you have on your list. I have 6 or 7 on my list. Outputs it into a text file that then downloads automatically. So now you have it just in one big file and I can go through and format it. I haven't looked at it yet, but you can go through and format it. So I built this into my app so you can just do your testing yourself on the models you have chosen.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. So that's something I'm going to do in the future as I get more into writing, which I'm not doing right now, which is the weird feeling I have that we'll talk about later. It was a lot. I actually enjoyed this. I don't know why. I really enjoyed just testing the same one over and over and looking at it and looking at the cost. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I'll have a better. Go ahead.
It's stats.
Oh,
that's why.
That's 100%. Yeah. And we'll talk about that later too. So anyway, that was Sunday. I did that Sunday and actually Monday a little bit. And this is where I kind of realized I went to Buffalo Wild Wings on Sunday. I had 4 different emails from Cee at the time over 3 days where she just kept pounding emails to me. What about this? What about this? And I was like in the middle of writing them. And I get another one. Okay. Add that so I had a Word document where I was answering all her questions. And this is where I kind of realized, yeah, this is going to be a complete rewrite, and that's scary. 6 months from right now, I haven't started writing yet. So I'm not going to start writing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. 6 months from right now is basically when the pre-order is going to be, or the orders, it's going to be, pre-order has to be available, but I still have to get it to her as an editor. So I figure November 1st is when I have to send her the plot, you know, the line edit, the copy edit. That gives me about 5 months. So it's, yeah. So it's a bit scary. But the good thing about it is it will get me a lot of new words this year. I'll hit that 45,000 word goal pretty quick with just this book. So so I made it through it. I wasn't finished by the time I left. Really? I thought I sent it. I must have sent it on Monday. But I was there about 3 hours at Buffalo Wild Wings. Then in the evening, I played my football game. I finished a game I'd started a few days earlier. That was the Patriots and the Buccaneers from 1979. Patriots winning a blowout. So Monday is Memorial Day. It's a holiday. And again, not much. I had the whole day off. I did not leave my house. I did very little in terms of writing. Had a good day though. I didn't work anywhere on my plot. Again, I'm almost ready to send it. I did wake up to one more email. So that was where the fourth email came from her, that I needed to respond to. And it gave me an idea about a couple of the characters. And then I did Dave's podcast. So Dave said to me, hey, we'll talk for about 45 minutes. I'll record it. This is his podcast. And then he goes on YouTube live. He goes live on YouTube and he calls it his post-game show. So that if anybody wants to come in and just chat with us about the podcast, which they haven't seen yet, which is kind of strange, they can do that. So he said, we'll go about 45 minutes. And if you want to go live, we can. I'm like, yeah, I got nothing going on today. So yeah, sure. So we ended up going an hour and 20 on the podcast where he brought up the books. He's like, hey, I noticed you're writing books. I see that in your, I put that in my every game I post on YouTube. I put it in the show notes. Hey, by the way, if you like these kind of books, go here. And we talked about that for about 5-10 minutes. And then we went live for another hour after that. So I was on with him for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. And that was a good time, just talking sports and talking the old games that we played. And I did ask him in the chat, I said, hey, I want to get into hockey. I'm not a hockey guy because they make it really, really hard around here to watch hockey games. The NHL makes it really hard. NHL, MLB, and NBA just make it so hard for the local fan to watch their favorite team. It's so stupid. But and he gave me a game called Shootout Hockey that I should buy. And I bought it. It was $13.50. Everything's PDF. So it was emailed to me. I have to cut it out myself, which is fine. I can do that. I watched some videos on it on that day, and it looks pretty easy to play. It's not super intensive. If it was football, it's fine, but I don't know all the rules of hockey. I don't know any of the players. I know some of the Columbus Blue Jackets players and a couple of the Penguins players, but that's about it. So this looks like something I'll be able to play. And I'm pretty happy about that. And then I ate some waffles and then I hit the couch. So that was Memorial Day. It was a good day overall. I cleaned back here. There's a whole spot back here that was dirty on the floor. Completely cleaned it out. I bought a bookshelf and then put it together later that day. Just had a good day overall on Monday. So I was very happy with that Memorial Day. Tuesday, I went into the office and at lunch, I quickly finished all the question stuff that C had for me about my characters and the location and all that stuff. And I emailed it to her. I don't know, about 12:15. And then I sat there and thought, well, I don't really have anything else to do right now. I can't edit any chapters because it's going to be a complete rewrite. So, I did go through and put all of the chapters from my previous 3 books into my writing app, which is basically just a lot of copying and pasting. This is something I really, really wanted to do. That actually reminds me of something that I need to open on my computer right now, or I will forget at some point. Okay. I'll talk about that in a minute. So I did that. And by the time I was done, it was the end of lunch. So I went back to my desk. And I golfed that night and I shot a 46, which was nice. So my last 3 rounds there, my first 2 rounds of the year were 52, 52. And then my last 3 have been 44, 45, 46. I'm pretty happy about that. And then let's see, what else did I do? Wednesday, yesterday, again, not much. I'm just waiting for C to respond now. And I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I sent it to her yesterday. Why hasn't she responded yet? I'm sure she's got a life. She's actually doing stuff for people that pay her. Well, I paid her too for this, but I'm sure she's going. It's probably about a 5-page document that I sent her. And just once, I just want to get a reply back that just says, this is perfect. Go ahead and write, but it's not going to happen. So then yesterday I did watch some more of that hockey game in the evening, and I began using ChatGPT and Visual Studio Code, VS Code, to write myself a hockey game scoreboard that I can use while I'm live streaming. I can do it very, very quick. And I'll use that while I'm actually playing the game. I'll put it on the screen so people know what the score is and all that good stuff of the teams. And then today in the office, I mean, not much. At lunch, I just sat and kind of looked for a project management app that I could use to keep track of my writing app tasks. Instead of putting them in this outline, I'd rather actually keep them in like a legit project management system. I found one called Kanban Flow, which is it's free for just a couple of users, and it has the kind of the Post-it note style or the board style that I have. I created some sections called backlog and feature and bug and in progress and done. I added the things that I know of to the list right now, and I just thought of another one that I'm going to add while you're talking so I don't forget. In fact, I've already forgotten what it was. I know. I know what it was. It had to do with copying and pasting. And that was pretty much it. I came home and just kind of watched a little bit of YouTube, and I had some dinner, and I'm in this weird spot right now, like I said, where I'm just not writing. And I get to lunch and I'm like, what do? I don't know what to do. This is weird. And I think, I'll talk about it, but I think I'm going to start writing this weekend, regardless of whether I hear from her or not, or even if we're settled on a plot. So I at least know a couple things that are going to happen early. So
yeah, right. I mean, there's probably some things you could fix, and they'll just stay fixed when you go.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And there you go. That was my week.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'm going to do, because we're pros here, and I didn't check this before I came on. Let's see if I can share my window here. Let's see what happens if I click share. Screen and presentation. Let's see what happens if I click presentation.
Keep in mind that we're going to be audio too, so we got to make sure we talk through what we're doing.
Yeah, no, that didn't work. If I share my whole screen, I don't think that's going to work either.
Let's see.
What do I want to do? Oh, window. Okay, I want to share a window. There we go. Let's see if this works.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Okay. All right. This.
Oh, there we go.
Thursday. Let's see. We recorded last Thursday. Friday and Saturday I worked. Sunday and Monday I had off, but it was Sunday, and then it was a Memorial Day holiday, and I did nothing but stuff for my wife in the garden. Which is, I mean, it was fun. I mean, my melons, I finally got a chance to get out there and look under all the big leaves to see what was there. And I've got some melons right now that are the size of like a small Nerf football. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna get some melons this year, which makes me really happy because I love melons. And then Tuesday and Wednesday and today I worked. But the work has been really slow, quite slow, even though we've been shorthanded. And I think it's just because school just let out. Everybody's taking a little bit of break before they get into the summer reading activities and stuff that they have to do for fall. So we've been slow. I've had a lot of time to sit there and puzzle over creating these AI agents. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of what I was doing. I've actually up to this point created 4 of them. One is what I call the co-author core. This is the main co-writer that I work with, that I bounce ideas off. It suggests ideas, and we just kind of hash it back and forth until we come up with a solution to whatever we're doing. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to click edit here and open up the editing screen. This is kind of what, you give it a name, tell it what basically it's doing. It's customizing for writing psychological thrillers and mystery. And then you give it system instructions. Now typically when you give AI system instructions, they're relatively brief, and just basically tells it what kind of persona it's supposed to have and what kind of output you want back. I'm just going to kind of scroll through this. And for people who are not on the feed or on the video feed, this is approximately 15,000 words worth of system instructions. And how I created these is using just Claude Opus straight and just bouncing back and forth, saying, okay, if I wanted you to do this, if I wanted you to act as my co-author, what would you need to know in order to do that? And it got down granular really quick, all the way down to describing what kind of almost contractual agreement I have to have with the AI in terms of who gets to do what and who has the final say. And, if there was a real person, there would be splitting of royalties and all kinds of stuff like that. So, yeah, it's really involved. It also, you get to choose the model and you can set all the parameters. And I kind of went through, I chose Claude Opus 4.6 because it said that was probably the best one to use. And it gave me the way to set the parameters, the temperature, the K, the top P, and all that kind of stuff, or top K and P. So I set all that up. And then it allowed me to create a training or a knowledge base for it. And a knowledge base is things it can refer to when it's trying to answer your prompts. So that it knows where it's at and it knows what you're looking for. And there's training files. And this is a little bit redundant because this information that's in these training files is also in the system instructions. But I give the examples from my writing of my voice. So if it's ever going to do some drafting, I want to realize what my voice looks like. But more importantly, actually, this particular agent won't be doing any drafting. What this particular agent's doing is it'll be checking what I draft to make sure that my voice is staying consistent throughout everything, through the dialogue, through the interior monologues, and through whatever action scenes that I have. I also create a genre reference with the help of Claude to kind of outline what do you find in psychological thrillers and psychological mysteries? What are some of the tropes that need to be there? What order do they occur in? How are they distributed throughout the whole story? And then this last one here was the co-authorship agreement, which is pretty funny. It really is like a little contract. Then you can give it dynamic context. Dynamic context is actually where are we right now in the story, so that when you leave it and you come back to it, it will know where it's at. And the dynamic context changes over time. The few shot promptings can change over time. Few shot promptings basically gives the AI, you give it a prompt and you tell it what kind of response, what would be an ideal response from the AI. So you actually create what you would want to see in a response. All this together, when I submit a request to this particular AI, through this particular AI agent for the co-author core, it's roughly 100,000 tokens.
Ooh.
So 100,000 characters it's taking, which is why it was costing so much. Yeah, which is why it was costing so much, and I ultimately decided to find a way to get it down a little bit. So that's the one I've been testing today, and it's been working really well. What's nice about the way in which Claude helped me develop these system instructions is that, unlike what these AIs want to do, which is tell you you're great, tell you what you did is perfect, there's specific system instructions that are saying you are supposed to be the harshest critic possible, and I want you to push back on everything I do, give me the pros and the cons, and make me justify what I did.
Jesus.
And so I don't think this is definitely not going to increase my writing speed, but hopefully it'll increase the quality of it, because it will be looking as I write, looking for plot holes, looking for inconsistencies in the way in which characters act, looking for things that don't really make sense relative to the real world. So all that kind of stuff.
It could also limit the number of drafts you do or your edits you do.
Yeah.
Because you're getting it right, the first time, the second time, whatever, whereas you might not do that.
It's going to be very recursive. I write something, I give it to it. It tells me what it thinks about it and where I might want to make corrections. I go ahead and do that, give it back to it. Yeah, it's very recursive.
It's a different form of looping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's actually more specialty agent for that I developed, which is called the Deep Drafter. Now that one doesn't have as big of a set of system instructions, but it's very narrowly defined to read this section of text and tell me what's wrong with it, given where we are in the story. So it still has that knowledge base of what my voice should be and what where we're at in the story in terms of dynamic context. But it doesn't have all the other bells and whistles that the co-author one does. And then these are the two that I'm most interest in seeing how they work as we go through time.
Me too, because I can see the titles.
Yeah, the continuity continuity guardian. This is the one that's going to check as the text builds up. It's going to check for instances where I have switched things that I shouldn't have switched, like switched hair color, switched eye color, switched locations or places, the names for people, that kind of stuff. So it is specifically designed to look for those kinds of common errors that you might have. And then the other one, this will be really interesting to see how this works. It's called the puzzle keeper. This is the one that keeps track of all the clues that you've laid, the red herrings. Make sure that you each clue actually is in the right place and hints at the right kind of thing that there'll be a payoff for later on in the story. Both of these, the continuity guard, well, most especially the puzzle keeper. This is something that you generate. Claude will generate for you after each writing session or back and forth session that you do with it. You ask it, okay, give me a summary of all the new clues and new plot points that we have generated in this particular session. And then I have to manually, so far I haven't figured out a way for it to do it automatically, but I can manually put it in the puzzle keeper, and then it will be able to keep track of these over time. So it's basically building a story Bible as you go through and develop.
Yeah, right.
And then when you get at the very end, you've got the whole book written. Then you can run it through this puzzle keeper, and it will say, it will look at all these things and say, okay, and through the continuity guardian, and see whether or not everything hangs together, and whether how it fits against the tropes and stuff. So this is a whole week's worth of work at work when I should have been doing other things probably. Putting these things together and starting to test them. So we'll see how it goes going forward. Yeah. I tested the co-author core a little bit and the deep drafter a little bit today. I gave it the first half of the first chapter. It was just basically the first scene. And it's already told me I have to ditch the part of it that I'm most attached to.
So, of course.
And gave me a good reason. To. It's because I wrote I wrote it in omniscient voice. The rest of the chapter is in first person. I wrote it in a very different style, very Raymond Chandler-esque. And it actually looked at that and said, this is very Raymond Chandler-esque. And it doesn't fit with everything else that you wrote.
It's nice to know. Yeah, it's nice to know that your co-author, AI co-author, is a lot like my human editor. You got to get rid of the thing you like the most.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what's going on.
So, yeah.
It's funny.
It'll be interesting to see how they come back. But I could see, doing this and going through this process over the last week or two has reinforced the idea that AI is not going to take over the role of an author, because nobody is going to go through that trying to generate AI for just money. It's going to go through all this trouble to do it. They're just
right. You're right.
They're going to type in a prompt or two and try to generate something that's reasonable. Nobody's going to go through this. But it was really interesting that Claude was willing to work with me to help develop all this. So I kind of like that idea. So anyways, that's basically what I've done in the week. There'll be more information as we go forward about how it works as I get into it more. And I'll probably share some snippets of stuff I wrote and how the AI wanted me to change it to make it better.
Yeah. I'm really interested in the puzzle keeper. The very first thing I thought of was, is there a way that I can call the puzzle keeper from inside my writing app? I don't know if that's possible. Like it's not like you didn't create a model. You created your own
I created
thing.
A template. I have a template. And the template, let's see, where's that? There's somewhere in here, there's a template. It's under dynamic. It might be under here, the dynamic puzzle keeper session. Yeah, this is where it's at, where it asks where you have to paste in what clues have been, used and all that kind of stuff.
But it's too bad I couldn't put in my writing app, send this to the puzzle keeper and have it return back to me something. That would be kind of interesting. to do that. I would
well,
like
actually, I mean, yeah, you probably could do that. I'm not sure I can do it within the way in which Typing Mind's structure is here. I don't think I can call other agents, although I don't know that. I'll have to research that. It would be really nice if I could.
Yeah, absolutely. Call it from anywhere. Yeah, as long as you have an API key or something like that.
Right.
Call it from anywhere.
Well, this is all going through open routers, so yeah, it's not a problem. The one thing I was going to say too is that Claude suggested that I use different models for different AI agents. So in the 4 that I've got one that's using Opus, 2 that are using Sonnet 4.6, and 1 that's using Haiku 3.5.
Oh, geez,
for whatever reason. So, and I think it's Puzzle Keeper actually that uses the Haiku one.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was fun. Yeah, I don't know if it's gotten me any closer to actually accomplishing anything other than I have a much better understanding about how these AI models work and how humans have to interact with them. In terms of my running list of future things to do, well, by next week this time, I hope to have had a chance to test out all 4 of these a little more deeply and give you kind of a rundown on how they're behaving and whether I think it's a waste of time or if it's actually helping.
For mine, it's back down to the ad stuff from Matthew J. Holmes and Dave Chestnut. Who knows if I'll ever actually get to or not. In terms of my addicted to, it's hockey content, but not actually games. I'm not really actually watching any games, but it's watching a lot of these guys play these games on YouTube and then playing around with my program to build a scoreboard and just different things I've been doing hockey wise to get ready to start playing this game. I'll probably play it this weekend a little bit. Yeah.
Well, my addicted to, at least the first part of the last 7 days was still 3D printing. I did a whole bunch more stuff. But then the patrons, darn them, started signing up for all the 3D printing time. So I haven't been able to get in there and do anything the last 4 days or so. Although I did do something overnight on Memorial Day because I'm able from my desktop here at home send jobs to that printer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I did one of those for an overnight when somebody else hasn't been overnight printing. So basically my addicted to first half of the period was 3D printing. Second half of the period has been chocolate ice cream. Again, we're back on the kick. So
nice. In terms of my week coming up, again, this is kind of I'm kind of back past a couple of busy periods here in terms of my weeks. So tomorrow I'm working from home, working all day. It's a full day for a few different reasons. The first one is because if I work from home tomorrow, that enables me to go 4 hours. I remember just preaching how great it was to do 3-hour PTOs earlier this year because it gave me a lot more time. And the one thing I noticed a couple times I did it was going into the restaurant at like noon to write is so much different than going in at 11. And I really enjoy going in at 11 before the lunch rush starts, and it gives me extra time during the day. So by not going tomorrow, I basically have enough now to get through the rest of the year. Either half a day Friday, there are a bunch of holidays this year that are on Friday, and even the Labor Day week that's Monday, I'll be able to take the 4 hours on Friday. So I will not work another afternoon the rest of the year unless something changes after tomorrow. The second reason is we have a install Saturday morning, and I just kind of want to be around all day tomorrow in case there's some kind of an emergency late in the afternoon that changes that. And then the third reason is because I forget what it is. I don't remember what the third reason is, but there's a third reason out there that I didn't put into the. Oh, I'm not writing anything right now. That's what it is. I'm not really writing anything. I'm just waiting. Although I will plan on writing. In fact, this weekend and what I do really depends on C. At some point, I will start writing, and I will email her and just find out how we're doing, even if we're going back and forth. So I will start writing because I know what the opening chapter is going to be. I have a pretty good idea where the first couple chapters are going to be, so I can at least work on those. Saturday, finally, Rich, it's the really first really nice Saturday we've had in a while. No rain, temperatures in the 60s. It hasn't rained all week, so it's dry. It's going to be amazing. And then like I said earlier, I have to work Saturday morning to do help do an install. So what the funny thing about it is I'm only going to be on, I have to be on the whole time in case something goes wrong. But my part's like 5 minutes of the 4 hours we're going to be online. I think I might actually bring my laptop back here, stay on, make sure my Teams is on, and just play my football game and just listen to see if they need me for any reason. Yeah. So, what else? Yeah. So I will definitely, after we're done, I'm going to go out somewhere. I'm going to write the first scene. I'm going to start it on Saturday. I got to start writing something. I know how the victim, who it is, why. I know how they're going to get murdered, where. I know all that stuff. I'll probably do some gaming afterward, grocery order, and kind of just mess around until bedtime, which will come early because I called the course today to get a Sunday tea time because I can play Sunday. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice again. A little chilly in the morning, but it's like in the 50s. Who cares? And I said, there's two guys that golf every Sunday. Rich and Leon golf every Sunday. They're always the first group out there. And then me and my buddy Dave are always right behind them. Well, Dave's not playing Sundays that much this year. So I asked Brian, the guy who runs the course, I said, hey, what's the earliest time? Find Rich and Leon and just put me before them because I'm going to be by myself. And he said, well, they're at 6:32. And I went, oh, that's early. I go, what do you got after that? And he said, well, we got a 6:40 something. I go, put me down for that. And he goes, well, then you're going to be behind Rich and Leon and a threesome. I'm like, well, then put me before them. And he said, okay, that's 6:24. So I'm going to get up at 5. I'm going to leave at 5:30 and my tea time is 6:20. I'll be done by 9. I'll be home by 10.
That must be right around sunrise up there, or maybe
it's getting early. I left the house this morning at 5:30, and it was starting to. The sun was not completely up, but pretty much up. Yeah, we're early right now. Yeah, so I'll get home. I could probably go to breakfast somewhere, but I'm gonna wait and go to lunch. And then I'll continue working on chapter 1, and then maybe I'll get into chapter 2. The other thing that scares me about this is it's gonna kind of be discovery writing because I do know the characters, and I know the reasons, and I know the motives of everybody. I know I know the scene, but I don't have a chapter by chapter summary for this new plot. So I'm going to try to do the looping a little bit and go discovery on this. And just nervous as can be about this one. This is going to be a rough one. I think it's going to be really good once it's done because I'm excited about it. Plus, my second book was better than my first. I think my third will be better than my second, and so on as we go through.
And on the plus side, you're not relying on this to put food on the table. So
100%. Yeah. I think if I get paid tomorrow for my real job, and that's a good thing.
Nerve-wracking if you're doing that.
No doubt. So, and then I'll get home pretty early. I'll go out and I'll keep working on the first beginning of it. And then I'll come home and do all the stuff I do. Monday, I'm going to work from home. Again, another thing that I preached about earlier was how much I love Monday, Tuesday in the office. Because I come home from golfing Tuesday night at like 9:15. And then I got the rest of the week, nothing. Work from home every day. But I really like having Mondays from home and then just go in Tuesday, Thursday and not worry about it. So I'm probably going to stay home Monday and then continue working on whatever I can work on. I know I'll be exchanging emails with C by now. And then I'll keep writing at lunch. Tuesday, I'm in the office. I'll write at lunch. I have my golf league at night. Wednesday, I'll work from home. And then Thursday, I'm back in the office and I'll see what I can do in terms of writing. It depends on exchanging emails with C. But I do have a goal, and that is to start the writing and to finish chapter 1 by the next time we talk. It's should be done because it's literally just one chapter, but I should be able to do it. And that'll be my goal.
Yeah, that's a good, discrete goal. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking earlier is that I had a goal last week of waking up at 4:30 every morning. I don't know if you remember I said that.
Was it 4:30?
Yeah, it was 4:30.
Oof. That's the time I got up today.
Between 4 and 4:30.
Okay.
I actually did that 5 of the 7 days of the last 7 days. I didn't do it Sunday and Monday when I was off. Got up, went in, had to the kitchen, had breakfast, thumbed through my phone a little bit. And then 3 of those 5 days, I went back to bed.
Yeah, okay. So you didn't say anything about not going. You just said get up.
That's true.
You didn't say when you go back to bed. So I think you accomplished it. I actually got up at 4:30 this morning, and it's one day in a row for me. I am dragging right now.
Yeah,
I'm dragging.
So anyways, I'm going to try to do that this coming week as well, to get up at 4:30 in the morning and work on these AI agents, test them out some more, see what I can do with them. Put them through their paces. I may not do it tomorrow because I'm kind of tired. I want to sleep in tomorrow, but Sunday through next Thursday, I'm going to try to do that. And maybe actually make it more than half of those days actually staying up and doing something. But I do have this weekend off, so tomorrow through Sunday, lots of gardening work to do. My wife's already told me that I'm going to be digging up an entire flower bed for her. So and that's assuming it doesn't rain. We've been rainy. You've been cold and rainy. We've just been hot and rainy. It was like 90 today, 100% humidity, and just nasty. So hopefully the rain will at least hold off and it won't be quite as humid as it has been. Monday through Thursday of next week, I will be working. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll still be slow enough for me to be able to do something. And one of the other things about using these AI agents that I think is going to help me a little bit is that I can be going back and forth with them and then have to stop and deal with a patron or do something. And I can come back and say, okay, where were we? And it'll give me a few sentences and it'll jog my memory instead of me having to go back and reread everything to figure out where we're at.
Right.
So hopefully I will see a little bit of benefit from that. But my goal for next week is to actually, as I mentioned, go through all these, stress test them, make sure they're working good, and then to go into the book that I've just recently written, the first draft of the Dark We Hide. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. In fact, it's right in front of me. The Dark We Hide, and start bouncing back and forth sections of text with Claude to see what she thinks of it, and see how far I've strayed from what the genre requires and how inconsistent I was on what I actually wrote throughout the whole thing. I already know I have some inconsistencies and some mistakes. So that in one way that's good, because I'll be able to tell whether or not Claude picks them up or not as we go through.
There you go.
So yeah, that's going to be my week. Just more of the same. Nothing really in addition to that to share.
I don't have anything to share, although I will say that we are reading for our book club this month. I think I talked about this last week. We were reading, you got the option of 2 books. It was the Presleys, something about the Presley, maybe Lisa Marie Presley. Maybe she was writing something and then she died and her daughter picked up on something like that. And I have no interest in Presleys. I'm not a big biography fan. I don't really like celebrities, or I don't really care about celebrities. But the second book we got offered is called Educated. It's by Tara Westover. And it's a memoir of her growing up in one of those isolated religious families that homeschool and didn't trust the government and all that good stuff. And this is another book that if I saw in the library, I'd just go, there's no way I have any interest in it. I'm about 60% of the way through it. It's fantastic.
Oh, really? Good.
I would suggest highly people going to read this. It's called Educated by Tara Westover. It'd be a good one for your book club if you're still doing that. It's a good book. It's a really, in my head, it's fiction because some of the stuff she talks about when she's growing up can't be real. It can't be, but it is, but it just can't be real. So it's really good. My Libby it expires on me in Libby next Tuesday, and I hope I'm done by then, because I don't know if it's on hold for anybody else. But I would hate to get about 85% of the way done and then lose it because I didn't get it finished in time. But it's really good. I'm really happy that I am reading this because it's just an interesting story. So,
well, my book club is going to be 2 weeks from today, and we're reading The Housemaid. By Frida McFadden, and I've seen the movie already.
Okay.
Which kind of is really screwing with the book because the movie does not have strict adherence to the book, which they never do.
Yeah, they never do.
And I've also realized, in one sense, that's good because it. In reading the book, Sydney Sweeney doesn't keep on popping up into my head about being the main character.
But I guess that's a bad thing, a good thing. I don't know.
Well, I started thinking about it. Why isn't it? She's such the pinup of everybody else.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I watched some clips from the Housemaid movie, and I realized, I think that Amanda Seyfried is better looking than Sydney Sweeney is. And I don't know what that says about me, but that's.
No, that's a tough one. I'll argue that's a tough one, Rich. That's a tough one.
Have you ever seen the movie Ted 2?
I have not. About
the teddy bear that comes to life.
Yeah, with what's his name from Family Guy.
Yeah. Right. Well, Amanda Seyfried in that movie plays a pot smoking lawyer.
Okay,
so it's a really good movie if you want to watch a really weird movie.
I think I watched the first one a while ago, but I have a hard time sitting for a whole movie.
Yeah, I know that. But well, they're relatively short. They're not super huge, but.
Well, I will say, if we're going to talk about unexpected things that we're watching, there's a lot of buzz around that Off Campus, which is based on a book series. And it's like it's a romance, and he's a hockey player and she's a student or whatever. Yeah. I did watch the first episode of that and thought it's pretty interesting. I'm going to keep watching. I told a friend of mine about it and she watched it in like 3 days and said it was good. I should keep watching. Right. So I don't know.
So since we're talking about stuff, we actually have a lot to share. The other thing I've fallen into the rabbit hole of on YouTube is a comedian, Gabby Bryan. Have you seen anything from Gabby Bryan? Oh, you got to watch it. It is hilarious. She does stand up in front of audiences, and it's basically, it's stuff that you would not want your mother to see you watch.
Okay.
But yeah, I just love. She's so funny. She's got such a weirdest laugh, and it's really strange.
Okay.
But, of course, it all revolves around relationships and sex and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's funny. So.
Okay, there you go. So there's some stuff to share right there for you guys. Yeah. All right, so that's going to be it for the podcast this week. If you want to get in touch with me, Jerry at jerryevanoff.com. The website is jerryevanoff.com. And the Substack is jerryevanoffauthor.substack.com.
Yeah, my email is rich@richcasey.com. You can find me on Blue Sky at Casey himself or Rich Casey. And then I'm also on Substack at Rich Casey. Find me there on Substack. That's where I'm going to be hanging out, I think, for the foreseeable future.
All right, everyone, that is going to be it for this week. We will be back in 1 week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. All that good stuff. Have a good night.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.